Hey everyone, it's Steven from Tostemac, and I'm with my mom this time because we're going to do something a little different. This time, we're going to be making a brownie. While I'm on a Mediterranean diet.
Yeah, but it's actually a good one. You can actually have this on your diet.
Oh yeah, that's right, because this one's a little bit different. Because usually with brownies you use eggs and oil, but this particular recipe calls for Greek yogurt as an alternative to eggs and oil. And the goal is to make the same kind of brownie, but with a different ingredient. So with that said, we're gonna go ahead and get right to it. I have a secondary camera right here. Hey, how's it going? So you can see us actually mixing it. Now, the first step is you take a cup of, I got the list of ingredients right here. I'll leave a link to the actual recipe in the description below. Found it online and figured it'd be fun to try. So, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to take our half a cup of, sorry, I misread. Okay, so this first step calls for the half a cup of chocolate. It could be either chopped or shaved, depending on what you want. And you want to microwave this until it melts. Now, fortunately, you don't have to deal with the microwave noise because I'm cutting this part out. Hey everyone, I just want to give a couple of quick notes that were not mentioned in this video. The first one being, when it comes to choosing your chocolate, I recommend keeping the cocoa level around 70% or less. Reason being is that the higher percentage of cocoa that you use in your chocolate, the more bitter it's going to taste. In this video, we actually used 90% cocoa, and while the brownie did taste good in the end, it did have a pretty bitter aftertaste. So my recommendation is 70% or less on the cocoa level. Now back to the video!
Hi everybody. Okay, so we've got our chocolate melted, which I'll show you here.
So the reason we had to do it this way was because we actually had a bit of an emergency that I had to stop the camera recording.
Minor.
Originally, you used the microwave to melt the chocolate, but unfortunately when we hit the microwave, or started the microwave I should say, it actually gave a couple sparks, so it came down with a sudden case of death. So there's your Halloween scare, ladies and folks.
And the thing to know, ladies and gentlemen, is if your microwave's not working, the other way that you can melt your chocolate is what was called a double boiler. And that's where you have one pot that we have water in, okay?
You can quickly move.
Now what we did with the water is we had the double boiler on top, and the steam from the water melted the chocolate. And as you saw, it's at a lovely consistency now, and it's all nice and melted. Okay, so I'm going to lay this down here, and now Steven, let's start adding some ingredients, okay?
You're right, before something else breaks.
Oh, it won't break.
Well, here's the hoping, fingers crossed. Okay, so now that we've melted the chocolate, and we gave it about a minute to cool, right? So now, next thing we're going to do is add the yogurt and the sugar.
Okay.
So from there, we're just going to mix it in this pot, and then...
That's our yogurt.
Yep. And then this...
Okay, well, let's do one at a time, Steven. We want to make sure that our viewers are able to duplicate what we're doing. That's the joy in doing a video.
In case you haven't noticed, I haven't really done too much baking. Usually it was her.
None.
Exactly. So this is actually the first time I'm baking something with my mom.
Okay.
So now from there,
we've got all of our yogurt now. Okay, now let's go ahead and stir that in.
Okay.
Okay.
Now the reason you want to give it about a minute or two to cool down is because if you add the yogurt in while it's still hot, it'll begin to curdle. And you don't want that.
No.
Yeah, because usually when it comes to like me and cooking and baking, usually a lot of the stuff is, yeah. So either that or it's like pre-made and I just slap it in an oven and then boom, done. So now we're actually, making it from scratch, which is a lot of fun.
That's why I love cooking and baking so much. It is fun.
Yeah, it's like ever since we moved to Colorado, you actually made a point to learn to cook a lot of different meals to try out.
Well, you guys are now old enough, you're at an age where you're actually willing to try, more than those 5 things you ate at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Like back when I was younger, I was very picky about what I ate.
They all were.
But now it's like we're all at a point where it's like we're not really, afraid to try new things.
Okay, so next we're going to add the ground sugar. Okay, just regular white table sugar. And how much of that were we adding, Stephen?
That was that was a half a cup of sugar of your choice. Now you could use regular sugar or you can use sugar-free or brown sugar. Any of those will work. So once those are well mixed, then we are going to transfer this into the larger bowl, or the mixing bowl I should say, where we will from there add the cocoa powder and the flour. That's the whole thing that makes it a brownie and not a pudding.
Okay.
Okay, cool. And I'm keep running back and forth to make sure, both cameras are doing good, because this is actually the first time that I'm doing a video with 2 cameras running. Usually I was just stuck with the one. But the thing is, the reason I got a second one was because one would be for my autism videos, the one I'm pointing at right now, and then the other one I would take to whenever I go to events. And the reason for that is the settings I have for the autism video are very specific, like the ISO, the white balance, stuff like that. So I don't want to change it too much, but with the other camera I have, it's all free range.
Okay, Stephen, so what are we adding next, son?
As soon as I get this advertisement off my phone. Okay.
Oh, ads.
So next, since they are combined now and moved to a large mix bowl, now we will add the flour.
Okay. And how much flour am I adding, Stephen?
The flour is, you want 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. You can also use gluten-free option if you want. Another thing to note when it comes to the dry ingredients is that you may want to consider adding salt to the mix. Now, I know it sounds kind of weird to think about adding salt to a dessert, but what the salt does is that it brings out the sweetness of the dessert. That's why you might find salt in recipes for not just brownies, but cookies as well. Now, in terms of how much, the recommendation is 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of salt for every 1 cup of flour you use. So we were using 3/4 cup of flour in this, so you might want to try a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and see what it does for you. Then after that, we're going to be mixing in the 1/2 cup of cocoa powder.
Now the thing, Stephen, I want everybody to know, the gluten-free flours, if you bake with them and cook with them, please trust and believe no one is going to taste the difference. When I was the cub master of a special needs unit, oftentimes I was the person responsible for doing all the shopping and for getting all the food prepped for the scouts and or the cooks to be able to prepare. They never knew that they were working with gluten-free flour, but I promise you, all the food was gone.
That's actually good to know. Okay, so a little bit more mixing and then the cocoa powder. Then it'll be ready for the cocoa powder. Now, the other thing we want to add is 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. So I'm going to go ahead and get that right now.
Okay, is that the next thing I'm putting in here, Stephen?
We can add the cocoa powder and the baking soda.
Okay, so I'm going to put the cocoa powder in, and how much of the cocoa powder am I putting in?
It is 1/2 cup of cocoa powder.
1/2 cup.
We had all these measured out before the actual recording.
Nice.
Now I need to do 1/2 teaspoon. Where is it?
This is getting very doughy.
It's kind of weird, really, that, 1 minute they all look like separate ingredients, but then, as you start mixing it in, oh, wait, that's dough.
Yeah.
There we go.
Now, the thing is, because the dough, as you can see, is very, very dry, I'm tempted to want to put a couple of drops of vanilla extract into this.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Okay, so I'm just going to get that. It's not part of the recipe, but my experience has shown that if it's getting this dry, you need a little bit more liquefaction.
Sorry, I'm just getting the baking powder right now.
Okay.
Go. I'm gonna put that in there.
Okay.
And then you're gonna put in the vanilla
I'm
extract.
going to measure exactly that much.
Oh, sure. You didn't even need these then.
I've
But
been-
you don't want to be adding too much vanilla extract
No.
anyway.
No, because you don't want to overpower it, but this definitely needs a little bit of something because it's beyond dry, and everything else we're adding are dry ingredients except when we get to the milk.
Which I will be doing right now.
Okay.
There it is. So we want 1 full cup of milk and half a cup, my bad.
Okay.
Now, we're sticking with the fat-free milk, but if you want, you can also use unsweetened almond milk as well.
Oh, I have unsweetened almond milk if you want to try that.
We do?
Yes, I do. A mother is always prepared.
Well,
Top shelf, left side.
the almond creamer?
Nope. See the light? There you go.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, we got it.
Not only is the mother prepared, she knows where everything is.
Most of the time.
Okay,
So
so
now
let's.
we're gonna do half a cup of the almond. Oh wait,
You have to actually open it.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's the little things, guys.
There we go. All right. Half a cup. Oop!
May I help you with that, son?
No.
College degree, we're still working on the cooking.
And now that had nothing to do with cooking. That was just me missing the cup.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so we want to add it slowly as we're mixing.
And at this point, actually, I'm going to go from my spatula to a wooden spoon because, believe it or not, while the spatula matches everything in, you actually need a wooden spoon, or, better yet,
What the heck is that?
this is a specialty type of a device that I use when I want to mix my breads and my doughs and stuff like that. And because of the wires, it actually aerates as it's going. I'll be blessed if I can remember. There really is a name for this device, and I cannot for the life of me come up with it right now, but I'm sure I will at some point.
If you know what the tool's called, let us know in the comment section below.
Yes, please. Okay, so now I'm just going to pour a little bit of milk in, and I'm going to work that through.
So since you've done baking stuff for a while, why do we have to add it in slowly instead of all at once?
Well, for one, it's a lot easier to get it to mix up, but for two, otherwise what happens is it's like you look at a lake and you throw a pebble in and it ripples out, it goes all over. You get the same splash effect when you do that with cooking. So by only doing a little bit at a time, I'm actually able to control where the liquid is going so that it goes where I want it to and not where it wants to go. And as you can see, that's exactly what's happening. It's starting to get that nice consistency that we associate with a brownie mix.
Well, we still need to add the rest of the chocolate, the rest of the milk. And then from there, we're gonna go ahead and add the chocolate chips. Because come on, you can't have brownies just by itself. You have to add something with it, whether it be like chocolate chips or pecans or both or maybe something else.
Walnuts.
Walnuts, really?
In brownies? Oh, yummy. And if you want, I do have some here. That's up to you.
Maybe we'll do that another time.
Okay. So you see how this is now starting to come together a little bit. And now it's starting to look a little bit more like a batter. And I've been able to retain all the milk without getting splashed.
Which is good for my camera. Saves me a bit of cleaning.
And I gotta tell you guys, it's beginning to smell really, really good.
You know, if they invent smell-o-vision at some point, this second camera's really gonna get it. You'll thank me later.
And there's the last of the milk now.
Okay. So once that's well mixed in, then what we're gonna do is put in the cup of chocolate chips in to kind of weave into the batter itself. Now, for the chocolate chips, they come in different kinds, but we actually use semi-sweet chocolate chips. See, now it's starting to become more like a batter.
And let me tell you, this is the best workout for your arms. Get you nice and strong, ladies and gentlemen. Don't use the beaters. Do it the real way.
I mean, you can use beaters if you want. You just gotta be careful not to do it too fast, because then the dough will just spin all over the place.
Okay. And that looks pretty well mixed up there. What do you think, Stephen?
I think so too. I agree.
Okay, so now how much of this chocolate chips are we putting in?
It's 1 cup.
1 cup of chocolate chips.
So, like, at this point, we're not really like trying to mix it until it's like a batter. We're folding it in, exactly.
And that's how you fold it in. You want all the chips to be covered by the batter. Okay, and I do believe that's a nice distribution. So you see the chocolate chips are kind of everywhere in there. You don't want them clumped up in one area and then another area of just dough, because when you're transferring this, you want everything evenly mixed, because when you bite that brownie, you want to taste everything.
Otherwise, it's gonna be one person tasting nothing but dough, and the other person gets all the good parts.
I don't know about that. Okay, so Stephen, what are we gonna do next?
Well, now we're gonna move it over to our pan right here. Now, the recipe in question calls for an 8x8 tray. Now, me, I can only find either the 9-inch or like the 7.6 of her. That is such a weird decimal. Like, why would they be so specific on that?
You mean measurement, right?
Measurement.
Right.
Measurement, that's what I meant to say. I know English.
College degree.
So, I had the tray right here, and I went for the 7.6 instead of the 9-inch because I didn't want the brownie to be too thin. Now, a lot of the pans that are coming out nowadays are like non-stick, but the recipe does call for like parchment paper, and usually parchment paper is used so that it doesn't stick to the pan itself.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And again, since you're not using oils or butters or extra flour, which you would use to prevent it from sticking to the pan, the parchment paper actually is a nice tool to use. Okay?
so yeah.
When I get the batter in there, it'll fall down. It'll stay in there.
Okay.
Okay, so you ready?
Yep, go ahead.
Here we go. Little April shower beating your tune as you fall all around.
Is that an actual song?
Yes, it is. It's a Disney song. Well, you have to know it's Disney if I like it.
It's like, I know my fair share of Disney songs, but I don't think I've heard of that one before.
Bambi. It was in the Bambi movie.
Oh, that's right. The one that had that song, Love is the Song That Never Ends.
Hmm?
It's been ages since I saw that one.
Yeah. Okay, now I want to make sure, and I apologize that the back of the bowl is to the camera, but I want to make sure I get all the yummy goodness out of this, because it's a lot of really delicious smelling batter.
Oh, yeah.
So let me see what I can get here. Now, back in the day when Stephen was younger, at least when I was younger, we would have been able to lick the bowl or the beaters or the spatula.
Oh, shoot. Even I remember that.
Exactly. Now, because we're not using eggs in this, you actually, once again, can, Stephen, lick the bowl and the batter. Because it was because of the eggs that we weren't allowed to let you do that anymore.
Oh, that's right. Because raw eggs,
Salmonella.
Yeah, that.
Yep. Oh, this looks absolutely yummy so far. Look at that. What do you think, Stephen?
Oh, I'm sure our viewers are going to love that.
Oh, yes. Too bad they're not going to get to eat any of it. But if you make it for yourself, and as you see, it's not really all that hard.
Again, I'll leave a link in the description down below.
Okay, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Is that not looking yummy? Okay, Stephen, now, we're going to put it in the oven for how long?
So here's the thing. You have to preheat the oven to 350 degrees, and the recipe calls for like 25 to 30 minutes. However, if you're in a higher altitude, you might want to give that baking more time.
So you want to always have a cake tester. Now a cake tester can be made of like a bamboo, or it can be made out of metal. It's just a
Kind of like a
slim,
wooden stick.
Yeah, it's just a slim device, and I believe I have one here somewhere.
So the goal of that is when you poke into the brownie or cake or whatever, it should come out clean. If it's coming out, what are you doing? So
Yep, no brains, all clean.
Mother! It just means it's well cooked. Anyway, so if there's batter coming off the wooden dowel, that means it still needs more time. So enough of that, we're gonna get this in the oven.
Okay, did you heat the oven already, Stephen?
Cut to the next scene.
It's that preparedness, isn't it? And he was a boy. No, he's an Eagle Scout.
Don't judge me. And now we're back with the brownie fully baked. We actually had to give it about an extra 20-25 minutes or so in addition to that. But again, that could be just because of our oven. It could be just because of the altitude. It might not be the same for you. But again, use that wooden dowel strategy. So, now we see here we have a fully baked Greek yogurt brownie. So, can't wait to get into it. So, Did anyone ever tell you you're scary with a knife?
Lots of people.
Right, yeah, let's just go ahead and get the brownie. So the thing is with the Greek yogurt brownie, if it's made right, it should have the same consistency as a regular brownie. So, I don't think they're gonna see that well because of how dark it is. Let me move the camera over. Move the camera over so that way it's in the light. Don't. Sorry, moving the tripod. Okay, so let's try it now. Oh, that's really good looking. Let me focus that again. Oh, that looks really good. Okay. So, but you know what they say, it's all about the taste, so let's go ahead and try it. Thank you.
I think it needs more chocolate.
I bet the extra chocolate chips are gonna be like where the other part of the brownie was, but
No,
yeah, it's like
they're here. They're here.
yeah. So yeah, the brownie batter came out really good. When you bite into the chocolate chips, you get that gooiness, and mind you, this has cooled down for about half an hour, so hence why it's nighttime.
It's very good. It's a very heavy brownie though. So this actually would be very good a la mode, I think. Some nice vanilla but bean ice cream on top of it, I think will just be perfect with this.
Yeah, if you combine this, actually not just ice cream, but like, yeah, the brownie, you have a scoop of vanilla ice cream, but also a drizzle of chocolate fudge and caramel. Usually those are like a really good combination with those. Or you could just forget the hot fudge and do just caramel, because that will be like a nice contrast to
Salt and
the
sweet.
heaviness of the chocolate.
Salty and sweet.
But yeah, ultimately this does taste like a regular brownie. In fact, no wait, Thomas is streaming right now. I was gonna invite him, but maybe I'll save a piece for him. Maybe. But
Probably not.
yeah. But that is pretty much the end of our first baking video. It's the first time we've ever done a video like this before, so I really hope you enjoyed. If you enjoy what you see, consider liking and subscribing and clicking the bell icon to stay up to date in our latest videos. We want to try one more baking video. It's like a Halloween brownie, but I'll keep you posted on that.
Or if you have something you'd like to see us make, send the recipe to Steven. We'd be happy to try.
Yeah, sure. If you want us to do like more baking videos or more cooking videos like that, I'm sure we can oblige. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed watching this. And until the next video, see you later.
Bye.
That brownie was really good, though.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
Very heavy. I want some ice cream now.
Well, unfortunately, we don't have any.
Darn. I'll have to have it with a glass of milk then. Almond unsweetened milk.